corporate motivational speaking. She brings over 10 years of extensive experience in the audit and assurance domain. Kalpana ma'am, a seasoned finance professional with experience at Deloitte Huskins and Sells, currently excels as a partner at Abhishek K. Jha and Company, chartered accountant, and she's a visiting faculty for management, communication skills, and orientation course of ICAI. She also founded Art of Influence, a training services firm specializing in soft skill training such as communication, public speaking, and storytelling. She is recently featured on the Joe Stock platform, and she combines her financial acumen with a passion for personal development, offering a unique journey marked by expertise in both domains. Beyond her professional endeavors, Kalpana ji is also a social activist, a Toastmaster, and a MEESC certified master trainer. She is committed to empowering individuals and organizations, and she stands as a seasoned professional with a holistic approach to growth and development. So, we wholeheartedly welcome you, Kalpana ma'am. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Gyati, for the warm introduction. A very pleasant evening to all of you. Thank you, Manish Kumar ji, for keeping your video on. Gyati के लिए तो ये compulsion है. And Rekha ji, I would request all of you, if possible, to keep your video on, because today's topic, humor, laughter, और अगर एक दूसरे की हम बत्तीसी नहीं देख पाए in between, तो फिर मजा नहीं आएगा, है ना ज्ञाति? You will agree to this. मनीष जी, वो कहते हैं ना, स्मित हास्य देखने को मुझे मिल रहा है जिन्होंने अपना वीडियो ऑन कराया. एंड आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट सुनीता, जिग्नेश, प्रेषित, रितेश, पल्लवी, PVR rename if possible. Please keep your video on. And Raj. Thank you so much. Let's start our discussion. I've started my public speaking journey, my communication journey. It's been months, years भी मैं कह सकती हूँ, almost 2 years. But two things that led me to come up with this topic is, one is the constant reminder. Those of you who know me closely, I am associated with Toastmasters. Whenever I used to be on the stage, yes, I'm a mother of 2 kids. My passion, my profession, my struggle. In every speech of mine, only that thing was coming out on a very serious note. And that was a time, 2 months back, I've started receiving constant one observation that start to have humor in your speech, Kalpana. And when I used to watch, listen, the great orator, speaker, TED Talks, I used to be amazed by witnessing how they are incorporating laughter punch with their thoughts, with their strategy they are sharing. And that's how here we are. And I would say I'll share my first humorous speech with all of you shortly. But before that, let's have a alert for all of you. And that's why I've mentioned that. Let me just check it once again. कितने लोगों ने अपना वीडियो ऑन रखा है? So, तो जो लोग वीडियो पर आए थे वो भी छुप गए. Thank you, Rekha ma'am. So I would request all of you, if possible, do it. What if I'll tell you at the start of the session only one more thing? You have to keep count of how many times you are laughing during the session. And I'll ask at the end. And if you have not kept your video on, it is better to show through emojis we have in our Zoom meeting function. So to start with our session, what if I'll tell you that in next couple of minutes, I'm going to summarize how to have that humor in your speech, your deliberation. Isn't it amazing? So here it is. Dhan tanan. Yes, it is loading. That humor in my life, in your life, when we speak, whether it will come or not, it is on the way. Right? Let me just have a look at your faces. Thank you, Harshali, for keeping your video on.
Yeah, hi ma'am.
Hi, hi. So can I have a question? Can I ask a question to all of you, that how many of you feel that you are a humorous person, or you feel that humor is not your cup of tea? An honest answer, yes and no, in the chat box.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Thank you, Rekha ma'am. What about no? In middle of two, Manish ji. Okay. Jignesh, yes, yes. Great. So we will have a test also at around the end part of our discussion. Those of you are saying yes, we would also like to taste your skill when it comes to trying on laughter and humor. Sometimes Sunita says, I consider myself to have a good sense of humor. Great. So we have mostly those who are good with their sense of humor. Great, great. And to those who are feeling that, yes, laughter is not my cup of tea, here I am to tell you that you are not alone. First, I was also at the same place where you are right now, that I was feeling, no, this humor is not my cup of tea, but let me tell you, it is skill. Again, I would say skill, it means we can walk over it, we can become master over it, we can have it in our speeches. And as I have mentioned, that how I have tested my humor side, that how it will come out in my first humorous speech recently, which I have given a month back in Toastmaster. I would like to share that speech. Few of the things maybe you guys will not understand Toastmaster terminology, but let's have a look to it, to my first attempt to humorous speech. Give me a minute. Is my screen visible to everybody?
Toastmaster Kalpana for your speech. Thank you.
Is it audible, everybody? All audible and visible? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Am I audible to everybody?
Yes, yes.
Because
yes.
I'm not
Yes,
able
you
to
are.
hear
Yes,
you,
you are.
Jaya. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay. I'm good to start.
Yes.
Please. So once again, a very energetic morning to all my fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. I had a dream from childhood, and way back 2 years back, in May 2022, I realized it that this dream can come true when I first came to know about Toastmasters Club. Without even giving a thought to inquire where the club is, where I can join, or making any effort, I started dreaming of me becoming a great orator. Fast forward to 2023, last year, in the month of May 2023, I first inquired about the nearby club from my residence, and that was Faridabad Toastmasters Club. It was one fine afternoon in the weekday. I have called to then VP membership of our club. Tring, 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 tring. Hello? Is this Faridabad Toastmasters Club? Yes. Hello, myself Kalpana Thakur. Actually, I want to join the club and just want to know the formalities and procedure. After that, our VP membership of that time spoke for almost 2 to 3 minutes. But let me tell you one thing. I was not paying attention to it. I was realizing my dream coming true. Do you know why? I was flat by hearing his accent, his fluency over the English language, his speech without a single pause and filler words. I thought, if this is a VP membership of the Toastmasters Club, what I will become after joining the club. In that weekend itself, I have attended the first meeting of Toastmasters as a guest. At the end of the meeting, when I was coming back home, I was again reliving my dream of becoming a great orator. Soon, I enrolled as a member, and I'm proud to say that in the very first meeting of mine, being a Toastmaster, I've delivered my icebreaker speech. It was about my journey of motherhood. And that day came when I have appeared on the stage, delivered my whole speech. And do you know what? At the end of my speech, very first speech of my Toastmaster journey, I received a standing ovation. I was on cloud 9, feeling very proud. I came home back from the meeting, and this announcement I made to my dear husband. Hey Abhishek, do you know what? I got standing ovation in my very first meeting of Toastmasters. He said, I don't know what is the quality of your club. And he left me where I was. I texted to my mentor who already suggested me about the Toastmaster. Sir, I'm very happy to let you know that I got the standing ovation in my very first meeting of Toastmasters. Sir said, congratulations. And he didn't tell me anything. 3 weeks after that meeting, I was in cloud 9. In fact, announcing this message to every near and dear ones. Welcome, Adukya sir. So it was the mentor, the name of the mentor I was mentioning in the speech, it was Adukia sir.
Thank you, Kalpana ji. And good afternoon to all participants, all colleagues. Great. Carry on, Kalpana ji.
Okay, sir. Would you like to mention anything or okay?
No, I'm saying that each one of us has unlimited capabilities on everything. There is a book by Jim Quick, Limitless, and Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. So whatever are our passion, our we should work on that. And I think this whole purpose of this webinar is that Kalpana ji, myself, Gyati, we want to be a mastermind of each one of you. We have Sunita Rathore ji, very active in NLP, Pallavi ji. So many of us are getting connected for last 3-4 years. So that's all. Kalpana ji, you can carry on the session.
Thank you, sir. So my intention for sharing this humorous speech and to let you know those who give the speech for the first time in Toastmaster, they get as an encouragement a standing ovation. So all of the speaker get the standing ovation. I have not heard about the evaluation and the methodology before me speaking, giving my speech. So that was the catch in that speech. Why I am mentioning this and why I've specifically shared
Once what that thought came into my mind that let's announce
on LinkedIn, but something held me back. Why this story and something related to it we will discuss in the later part of our discussion when we'll discuss about the types of humor we can include in our speeches. First, why we want humor, why we want to work upon it, including me. There are 15 participants in the session. Can I have your answer, your why of having, including your curiosity for humor, why we need it? So I have some answers in the chat box. No, no one has answered yet.
To engage audience.
Yes, audience engagement. Apart from that, yes, Sunita is also saying audience engagement.
Uh, I think we should include humor to make the session more lively and
Yes, make the session more lively. Sunita ji is also mentioning humor keeps the audience intact.
actually, yeah, they keep with the audience intact and make the session interesting.
Yes,
All the audience are awake and interested and participative in that.
exactly, exactly. Yes,
Audience do not get
Harshita, the
bored. Do
connection.
not get bored.
To be happy and effective, it is the soul of the session. Otherwise participant will be suffocated. Yes, bring more energy in the group. Exactly. What
Yeah.
we want to have in our session, the connection, the engagement. When the human attention span is very short, we know it from 5 to 10 seconds is that's what it takes to drift our thoughts in our mind in something else. And in today's world, when there are so many things going around, going inside and around us, when there is so much of stress, we feel like we are having lack of sleep, and many other reasons. When what we sit to learn and listen anything, and it has that ingredient, humor ingredient, it is very easy to understand, as all of you are mentioning. And one more important thing, that during the session, let's take an example of today's session. Couple of time I am trying, or when you will be trying to incorporate humor in your speech, that's the part, if you will be successful, will be retained in the memory in the audience for the longer time. How many of you agree to this point? That will be the most, what we say, energetic movement for the session. It helps us to people to listen, memory retention, understanding. So all the good things comes with humor. अदरवाइज तो ऐसे लगता है कि जैसे क्लास चल रही है और हम सुन रहे हैं. एंड स्पेसिफिकली इन वर्चुअल सेटअप, नॉट ओनली इन वर्चुअल सेटअप, इन physical meeting also, in offline meetings also, it is important to have a dose of laughter, humor. वो कहते हैं ना, एक हवा, एक lively air to have all, including the speaker and the participant, to have in between the learning session. According to Charlie Chaplin, a day without laughter is a day wasted. And this is something, it is, as I've mentioned, that I was someone who rarely laughed or take the opportunity even to gel with my little one and take the maximum opportunity of every moment with my kids in the hustle bustle of life. But so this is the question to all those who have mentioned no in the chat box, that you feel you are not funny. So सबसे पहले तो क्या करना है हमें? Can anyone guesses what is needed to have that humor part in ourselves, to start that journey with? Any guesses? Let me see in the chat box. दूसरों को हंसाने के लिए हमें क्या करना होगा? कहाँ से शुरुआत करनी होगी? I have one answer in the chat box. Mingle. Yes. Manish ji, bang on. Find every opportunity to laugh at. Start with self. Exactly. Exactly, कविता, कि दूसरों को हंसाने से पहले are we laughing? खुद को हंसी आ रही है क्या? ये वही बात हो गई ना, खुद पे विश्वास है नहीं और हम सभी को कह रहे हैं चलो आगे बढ़ो, हम तुम्हारे साथ हैं. हम ऐसे पूरे टाइम बैठे रहते हैं. वी आर रेयरली लाफ. सो आई वॉज दैट काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सन कि मैं उंगलियों पे गिन सकती हूँ कि कितनी बार मैं खुल के हंसी हूँ. वो जो एक बचपन में हंसी आती थी ना, कि बस अब नहीं हंसा जाएगा, आंख से आंसू आ रहे हैं. There is an uncomfortable feeling in our stomach. बस बहुत हंस लिया. So there is a need to have that attitude to laugh at every possible opportunity, as mentioned by Manish ji. Smile, have a peace with yourself and the people around. सब कुछ, picture perfect, nobody is getting in their life. हमें ढूंढनी पड़ती है छोटी छोटी खुशियां मुस्कुराने के लिए. अदरवाइज वो कविता मुझे याद आ रही है, गम है बहुत सारा दुनिया के पास, हमें हमारी मुस्कुराहट छीनने के लिए. नहीं, दिस इज नॉट द करेक्ट लाइन, बट आई होप भावना आप तक पहुंच गई. फीलिंग. Laugh at yourself, we have discussed. Tell a truth that no one else has notices. From past couple of days, I am watching stand-up comedy, and you will notice that वो लोग है ना, उन छोटी छोटी चीजों को नोटिस करते हैं जो शायद हम मिस आउट कर जाते हैं. The moment to laugh, to find out the humor, and we have to have that and it will come slowly and gradually. Understanding when is the right time. जोक बोलना और सही समय पर बोलना या फिर having that punch of humor is very important. Timing is everything. And keep calm when nobody laughs. So to give you the best example, the second slide, this one. When before this, when I have mentioned that I have a one slide to summarize what I am going to say, and after looking at this slide, किसी को हंसी आई या फिर थोड़ा सा भी आप वो कहते हैं ना स्मित हास्य जो कहते हैं मराठी में, वो किसी को आया, या फिर आई एम श्योर I was getting the feeling that no one is here except me, because when I was making this at that point of time also I was laughing, and at the time of showing also I was feeling, I was having that laughter feeling. So can I have the answer कि कितने लोगों को कि ये क्या समराइजेशन है कल्पना का? Is there someone in the room who had this feeling? किसी को हंसी नहीं आई. So keep calm when nobody laughs at the start of your journey. I'm having one answer. Let's see. No. Yes. That's what, Sunita. So when we have to present and when we plan some shift to the humor and back to our topic, and when nobody responds in virtual as well as offline meeting, we have to keep calm and learning from that experiences, and do not explain humor. And the best example again I'll give from my session itself. I've stopped that speech of mine from Toastmaster and I was explaining all of you. Again a question to all of you. कितने लोगों को मेरी speech में हंसी आई? Honest answer. नहीं आई तो no भी you can answer. Mention. Manish ji is laughing. I. Okay, PVR says I. Honestly, clip was not complete. Okay. Thank you for answering. So clip was not complete. So laughter was not, समझ नहीं आया जो कि पूरे speech का. So when you will start your journey, do not explain it the way I did. I stopped the video and I started explaining it. It is not advisable. Either show it full और या फिर तो दिखाओ ही मत, और दिखा रहे हो तो आधा दिखाओ और आधा explain मत करो. It actually, to keeping our point of view strong and having that laughter moment, वो situation थोड़ी अलग हो जाती है. And then fourth step is understanding our sense of humor. And here I will go back to the point जब I was thinking about writing a humorous speech, and looking back to my life, I've not found any other story, या फिर मुझे याद ही नहीं रहा कि क्या थे past में ऐसे moment those made me laugh. And that was the only Toastmaster incident I was remembering. So आपको कि अपने पहली बात तो हमें मुस्कान आती है हमारे चेहरे पर या नहीं? Are we enjoying the small movement or not? And at the same time, what are the incident, what are the moments, what are the activity that make us smile? And that only we will start incorporating in our speeches, because हम जहां पर हंस पा रहे हैं, it will be easier at the start to make our audience laugh at those moments. कितने लोगों को ये बात इस बात से आप लोग रिलेट कर पा रहे हैं? Yes, Harshali. Jignesh ji, thank you. When we are talking about starting our journey, 2 tips that I've also started following is keeping a track. जब हमें अपने life को use करना है, the techniques we will talk ahead. First of all is noting down the humorous movement from our own life. We tend to forget, हमें याद नहीं रहता. I am the best example because right now मुझे याद नहीं अपने past की वो बातें जिन पर मैं खिलखिलाकर हंसी थी. So that is one. And when you want to be humorous, start taking intake of the similar kind of information and data, watching the humorous speech. There are various TED Talks. Those are informative, yet there is a punch of humor in it. By watching those material, we will be able to know how they are incorporating humor, and that is also very smoothly without affecting the flow of discussion. Then next point is how we can incorporate the different humor in our speeches. There are 4 ways to do it. First is anecdotes and story. The way I have done, the only one story, शायद end of the speech में आप सभी को याद हो जाएगा how many times I am repeating that the only story, joyful and laughter story of my life, that giving the first speech in Toastmasters. So having a story शायद आपके अपनी life से या कहीं किसी और की story which relates to and gel with the topic you are discussing. Second is relatable humor. So yesterday, here I will use another story. A comedian was performing and he mentioned that मैं अपने पापा के साथ पेट्रोल पंप पे गया और वहां पे बंदे ने कहा पेट्रोल डालने से पहले 0 देखो. जोर से कहा मेरे पापा को और मेरे पापा ना मेरी तरफ देखने लगे. At that point of time, I laughed. And the same response was in the audience. And I saw just now Manish ji was also laughing. So having the relatable humor. Here I have a story. बात करते करते मुझे याद आ गया, being a chartered accountant, relatable humor. So it took 10 years for my father, provided my condition to get married, मेरे लिए अच्छा दूल्हा ढूंढने के लिए जहाँ पे मैं हाँ कह दूं सामने वाले भी हाँ कह दे. And the one statement on which I said yes, being a chartered accountant, and it is related to balance sheet and balance sheet asset and liability. My husband says when in our first conversation, he said, if we will get married, you will be asset of my balance sheet. And I was totally flat on that statement. And I said, yes, Papa, he's the one. So having the relatable humor, self-deprecating humor, the example of that petrol pump, it is relatable, and most of the time you will find that in the humorous speeches, speaker keep the target on their own selves. It is easy actually to do किसी और पे joke मारने से better है anyone will get hurted. And at the start specifically, start की छोड़ो, जो धुरंधर है वो भी यही करते हैं. You almost 80 to 90% they only talk about themselves, their life and the people around them. Visual humor, this is the easiest one related to the topic. If it seems like I have tried to do here a question how to become a humorous guy, we can include some memes or gifs. It will give a laughter punch. And I've watched many speeches where it plays very well and it gives that jiggle, that laughter. Techniques की बात कर ली. Just a second. First, knowing your audience is very important. I take my session for CA students graduate student and fellow chartered accountants like you. And it is not possible that the same joke or humor will work on all the categories. You will agree to it, and I myself am practically experiencing. Sometime I try to do, it goes flat. So considering the audience, what make them laugh, giving a thought to it is very important. Like here, the chartered accountants are there. If I would have, I will take a session with a maybe college professor, and I will share the same joke of my husband making that statement of asset and balance sheet, it will not work. So you have to keep mind of your audience. Timing is everything. किस समय क्या बोलना है, at which point, and this is the very important point in humor. Slowly and gradually, when you will progress, when you will try and do some experiment, you will come to know. And start with light humor. एक कहते ना, पहले बॉल पे चौका लग गया. Just a second. I'm sorry, my younger son is making some noise around. Start with light humor. अगर हम स्टार्ट में कोई हल्की सी बात कहे जिससे बत्ती सी दिख गई हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट की, तो कॉन्फिडेंस हमारा थोड़ा बढ़ जाता है. You all will agree to it. And having that start on a lighter note will be helpful. What to do and what not to do. Keep it relevant. अब ह्यूमर हमें लेकर आना है, तो कहीं से भी we are trying to mix oranges with the apple, it will not work out. Relevant to what we are speaking and going with that topic. Test your jokes, like I am testing some of my jokes now, and in my other speeches it will. In fact, every time we will mention a humorous speech or a point or a story, it is a test only. Unless and until you're not sure that when people will laugh. आपको हंसी आ रही है, सभी को उसी point पर नहीं आएगी या आने वाली है, that is not sure. And stay authentic. Like this balance sheet and asset is my story. Maybe hardly someone will have it, and ये कहीं से चुराई हुई नहीं है. And that petrol pump is, I've heard, I forgot the name of that comedian, I've heard a few days back on YouTube. It is someone else. So be authentic. किसी और का भी use कर रहे हैं, तो having, quoting that person name, and if it is going with your story, here there is a catch in being authentic. अगर जैसे कि मैंने एक दूसरी स्टोरी यूज करी है, एक ह्यूमर इंसिडेंट यूज करा, इट इज ऑलरेडी ट्राइड एंड टेस्टेड, एंड इफ इट इज गोज विथ योर पॉइंट, यू कैन यूज दैट बाय मेंशनिंग दैट पर्सन्स नेम. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, व्हेन आई एम यूजिंग माय ह्यूमर फ्रॉम माय ओन लाइफ, यहाँ पे मैं अपना ह्यूमरस जो अवतार है ना, उसको स्टेक पे रख रही हूँ कि आप लोगों को हंसी आ रही है या नहीं आ रही है. ओ, कल्पना इज नॉट दैट ह्यूमरस. कोटिंग द अदर पर्सन एंड देन यूजिंग देयर स्टोरीज. अच्छा, आपके माइंड में वो पर्सन है एंड हिज स्टोरी इज देयर. सो थोड़ा सा अगर आपको हंसी नहीं आई, तो इन दैट वे, इफ योर पार्टिसिपेंट विल नॉट लाफ, यू विल बी little safer and you will not feel that awkward. What are the don'ts? Obvious सी चीजें हैं. Avoid offensive humor. Don't overdo it. हर चीज उचित मात्रा में ही ठीक लगती है. And here we are having our motto, our goal to infuse humor punch in our technical discussion very precisely. We do not want to become a comedian. So the right quantum at the right places will be better to have, and understanding the difference between organic humor and forced humor की जबरदस्ती, हाँ भाई हंसना ही है आपको, आप explain करे जा रहे हैं. understanding the difference between roasting, telling joke. So now a question for all of you, that how many of you are getting roasted right now, or you are really enjoying the session? You are getting some valuable points of a feeling कि thought process हो रहा है. Yes, we have to try our hands on this. A question. We are less than 15 minutes to go. Thank you, Pallavi ji. Pallavi, Priyanka, sorry. Okay. Thank you so much. We have discussed how to start, the 4 techniques, and what to think, what to keep in mind when we are starting, understanding about the type of the audience and all that point. Now, here the point, always I'm mentioning that do not fall into the trap of collecting all the information. Do not say that all the available videos on YouTube, on TED platform, or the books by the renowned humorous speaker on this topic I'll read, and then I'll start to have my hands on this topic. Start practicing it. And I must say, when I was making this presentation and articulating my thought, and exactly not from that point, the moment I had that self realization that yes, humor is needed in my life all the time when we talk, even in the conversation from our friends, our colleague, are we able to infuse humor? So here I have a fellow Toastmasters in our club. He is very humorous. So he was mentioning about one fellow Toastmaster who is a very good speaker and trainer. So he said that जब वो पैदा हुए थे ना, तो उनके नर्स ने घर वालों को ये नहीं कहा था कि बेटा हुआ, उन्होंने कहा था ट्रेनर हुआ. And this is a small example of how humorous it is, and simple चीजों में, जैसे कि the way I was mentioning the great comedian, in everyday's normal life scenario they found humor. So practicing having that in our mind, it will help us to go longer. And awareness is very much important in it, and I'm glad that all of us are having that awareness. Together with practice, having the feedback mechanism for us. Say, for example, if you will take a session, you will give a speech, taking a feedback from the reliable sources, from your near and dear ones, who is actually working, who will help you in that, will help you to work better, to have the better punches, and adjust your humor based on your audience reaction. After hearing all of this point, I am sure all of you are feeling overwhelmed that, yes, we are blessed to attend today's session. अगर हम ये 60 मिनट कल्पना का सेशन अटेंड नहीं करते तो पता नहीं, शायद हम वंचित रह जाते अपने जीवन में हास्य रस को इंक्लूड करने में. है ना, यही फीलिंग आ रही है ना सबको? आई कैन सी द स्माइल ऑन मनीष जी's face. So this is also a way to incorporate humor in your speech, mentioning the exact opposite reaction of your audience. I'm mentioning opposite reaction. It means you guys are feeling that this every minute of it is not worth it. So how was the dose of laughter? Keeping it short and simple, और समय की गणना को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम पहुंच रहे हैं पूर्ण विराम की तरफ. तो आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क द क्वेश्चन. शुरुआत में मैंने आप सभी से ये निवेदन किया था कि आपको गिनना है कि कितनी बार आप सेशन में हंस पाए हैं. तो किसी ने उस गिनती को any one of you were able to count it? Manish ji 5 times. Harshali 5 to 6 times. Thank you. जिन्होंने रिप्लाई नहीं किया, आई एम 101% श्योर कि वो ना लोटपोट हो गए होंगे हंस के. That's why they are not in a position to use their fingers to type. यही बात है ना. I will give you time to gain yourself back to reply. And this is also a method of incorporating humor. वो कहते हैं ना हिंदी में इसका शब्द मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है, अंग्रेजी में एक्सैजरेशन. हंस हंस के मेरे सेशन से मेरी बातें सुन के आप लोटपोट हो रहे हैं. सो हैविंग द एग्जैक्ट अपोजिट reaction, mentioning the exact opposite reaction of what audience would have been thinking at that point of time. कोई different topic या point आपने discuss करा और उसके बाद I know all of you are thinking that this is very easy to grasp and the way I have explained it is very, now you will remember it forever. So with that, formally the points I wanted to share is over. Here are few of the great talks. कितने लोगों ने यहाँ पे टिम अर्बन की इनसाइड द माइंड ऑफ अ मास्टर प्रोक्रेस्टिनेटर देखी है? इफ नॉट, गो एंड वॉच दिस, मेक अ नोट ऑफ दिस. अभी आप कहोगे कल्पना, हियर द टॉपिक ऑफ टिम वाज ह्यूमर, सॉरी प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन, एंड incorporating humor was very easy for him. Let me tell you, let me show you something. A week back, I've gone through the whole 28 to 30 minute speech of Malala when she won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014. I have planned to show you her those 2-3 points when she has included humor in her speech, but considering time, I will not do so. At third and a half minute, 3.5 minutes, and at 18 minutes. But I would suggest watch her, listen her whole speech. The topic, the noble cause for which she is fighting, the very serious point she is mentioning and putting across in that meeting, and in that too she found the movements to make people's laugh, to make all the participants laugh, and it is really admirable and a point to note and learn. Here again, I have attended one offline session in our Faridabad branch. I forgot a fellow chartered accountant. He is teaching Excel. और Excel की जब हम बात करते हैं तो how you will visualize a session of Excel, a physical session. मैंने तो boring ही expect करा था, but to my surprise, I forgot surname. He is having a YouTube channel also, Excel Champ. He explained all the formula by role play. And in his role play, all the EC member, executive member, chairman, secretary, treasurer were the role player. And through them, he explained the formula, and all of us in the participant, we were laughing throughout his speech, close to 2 hours. So it is up to us how we take this skill, how much we are interested to work upon it. Here another one great speech, World Championship of Toastmaster by Dhananjay Hetreachi. Those of you who were there in my previous session, I have make you through already this. जिन्होंने नहीं देखा, please go and watch this video. How he has almost narrated his whole life in 7 minutes, and how he incorporated humor in it in a great way. With that, 4:56 हो रहे हैं और कल्पना के लाफ्टर की जो रेलगाड़ी है वो यहीं पे विराम लेगी और इस स्टेशन पे आप सभी से पूछने की इच्छुक है कि किसी का कोई डाउट हो, कोई सवाल हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, या वरना और अगर आपके मुस्कुराने का मन हो तो वीडियो ऑन करके हमें भी अपनी बत्ती सी दिखा के मुस्कुरा सकते हैं। Thank you, Manish ji, for keeping your video on throughout. Thank you, Harshali. Any question, anyone? Or any feedback you would like to share? Humor is not a dish of everyone's plate. I was also feeling in the same way few months back. लेकिन अब मैंने ह्यूमर वाली रेलगाड़ी की टिकट कटा ली है and I am traveling in it and I am sure कि अंदर से ही कुछ होता है how to put punches. पहली बात तो हमें ये थिंकिंग प्रोसेस निकाल देनी है. द पॉइंट विच वी हैव डिस्कस फ्रॉम वेयर टू स्टार्ट. प्रियंका, कैन यू आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम वेयर टू स्टार्ट? हमने हमारे प्रेजेंटेशन में क्या डिस्कशन करा था? व्हाट वाज द पॉइंट टू स्टार्ट? यस, सेल्फ. Yes, when you are happy. So Priyanka, starting from our own self, हमें किन बातों पे हंसी आती है? Which are the moment we are actually enjoying in our life? Starting from those moment. I have shared my first humorous speech that I gave in Toastmaster, and that was that incident. That humorous incident of my life was from the first स्पीच ऑफ टोस्ट मास्टर इटसेल्फ. तो गो बैक इनटू योर लाइफ कि कहाँ पे ऐसा मोमेंट था जहां पे प्रियंका दिल खोल के हंसी, या फिर उस इंसिडेंट को आप याद करते हो तो स्टिल यू आर लाफिंग. स्टार्ट वॉचिंग कॉमेडियन स्पीचेस and the great speeches. There are various TED talks. Those are having in their technical topic, they are having the punches of humor, how they are doing it. एंड थोड़े थोड़े डोज से हमें स्टार्ट करना है. And I've shared 3 videos to watch. One is I'll again share it for Priyanka. You were there at the end, right? This Dhananjay Hetriyachi Malala speech from 2014. You must watch this. And Tim Urban. And there are various, if you'll search humorous TED Talks, you will find many of them. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि आप कभी हंसते नहीं हो. There are moments, and definitely there will be moment you are laughing, you are enjoying in your life. We have to start from there. Anyone else? In NLP language, Sunita will able to relate to it. If one can do it, anyone can do it. है ना? अगर कोई एक कर रहा है, स्किल पे पारंगत हो रहा है, तो anyone can do it. Kalpana is trying her hands on it. There are many people who are trying it to it, and every expert was beginner on day 1. पहले ही दिन आप बोलना शुरू करोगे और लोग एकदम धड़ल्ले होके हंसने लगेंगे. It will not happen. It will happen with time, practice and persistence. Okay, then I believe no one is having questions. So please do let me know your feedback in the chat box. It will help me for my future sessions. Okay. Thank you for your feedback. And here is the link of my Art and Influence WhatsApp group, where I regularly post about the upcoming events. If you are not part of it, you can join it. Thank you so much for being there और अपना धैर्य बना के रखने के लिए और 5-6 बार हंसने के लिए. To Manish ji and Harshali, and lots of gratitude जो एकदम लोटपोट होके हंसे during the session and they were not able to type in the chat box. Thank you so much. Good day. अपने जीवन में laughter के ingredient को ही लाने की शुरुआत करते रहिए, हंसते रहिए, मुस्कुराते रहिए. Bye bye.